Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Salty Sports Show. This is episode 26, a mini episode. This kind of builds off our last episode. And this will be discussing the Super Bowl, which is this upcoming
Yeah,
Sunday.
yeah. Last episode we really just spent it on those looking at those championship games because we wanted to give the Super Bowl preview its own identity, I guess. Steven isn't here unfortunately, which sucks because well, let's get right into it. I guess I'll talk about his team that he's been pulling for, saying that they're gonna shatter every doubt and they're gonna go all the way and win it, and that is the Los Angeles Rams. And I mean, what a team the Los Angeles Rams are. I mean, where do you start but Sean McVay, who's been the genius mastermind around the turnaround of the franchise from where they were at the end of the Jeff Fisher era all the way to the powerhouse of the NFC. Um, Really, a team that has always been, you know, they've always had some level of threat. But with the big trade and going from Jared Goff to Matthew Stafford, the Rams have reestablished themselves as a true contender in the vein that they looked like one in 2018. Maybe not quite as convincing in the regular season as they were that year, but this time around in the playoffs, they've looked really damn good. Um,
Mm-hmm.
of course, um, Matthew Stafford is the quarterback that has really unlocked another level of that offense, going down the field and deep. Truly, and they play a very different style. They used to be they used to love to run the ball, run play action. Still got their receivers involved, but now they become pass dominant, and that's led to Cooper Cup winning a triple crown and getting agonizingly close to a record from Megatron for single season receiving. But on the other end, despite the loss of Robert Woods, they got Odell Beckham Jr., who's looked amazing these playoffs. And of course, Van Jefferson, who's a very good deep threat. Now, it seems like Tyler Higbee isn't going to play in the Super Bowl, which sucks, but the Rams are going to have to make do. And you really, if you're good enough to be in the NFL and play tight end, you will have a decent life, even if you're not as good as Tyler Higbee is. You're gonna have a decent life with that spacing you're gonna get from those weapons that are already on the team. Um, as for uh, as for the offensive line, it's anchored by the newly elected Walter Payton Man of the Year, Andrew Whitworth, who he's 40 and still one of the premier left tackles. And I mean, the Rams' offensive line has really had a bit of a resurgence this year. It's looked a lot better. And as for the run game, I mean, they have Cam Akers, they have Sony Michel, and that's kind of been the main duo they've rolled with. I know Henderson was getting those carries in the regular season, but I don't know if he was hurt or not, but he hasn't really ever since Akers has come back. Um, as for, you know, and that offense is just star-studded and just dominant, and it's of course, the mastermind scheming it, Sean McVay, is doing an excellent job as always. Not much to say about him, but for some reason it started as a joke, but there's now like a rumor about TV, but I highly doubt anything. But he's that guy in Los Angeles, and he's been the big reason why Kroenke and Co. have Kroenke's project in Los Angeles, which he wanted to oversee a very new Rams, different than what was at the end of that St. Louis. I mean, he's why the Los Angeles Rams, unlike that team in St. Louis, has been very successful. And obviously that's not to diminish, the greatest show on turf. I mean, I'm talking more, their end years in St. Louis, but that's been the big difference, Sean McVay. But I mean, now that we've talked about the offensive side of the ball, I mean, the defensive side of the ball is a mean machine, and where else to start? But the guy that you could still might say, regardless of positional value, is the best player in the NFL, Aaron Donald. Um, he could go down as the greatest defender of all time, and no better way to cement legitimacy to that argument than with a Super Bowl ring. He came agonizingly close and was part of a valiant effort to keep a Tom Brady led squad to 13 points, but ultimately his offense was came up short in that Super Bowl, but this time around, um, he's still a defensive player of the year caliber guy, even though he didn't win the award this year. I mean, there was still a very strong argument that he should have, but that's not, a debate to have really anymore or now. Um, and of course, he has some, pretty high quality options with him. I mean, it's but having a guy like Aaron Donald makes life so much easier for everyone else. But obviously, you have. I know he hasn't been as prevalent on the team, but they still have that nose tackle Sebastian Joseph Day who I liked. But I think Greg Gaines has kind of overtaken him in the pecking order. But of course, you have guys like Leonard Floyd, who he isn't anything great, but he does well with the spacing that Donald gives him. I know there's Troy Reader, Ernest Jones, but the big edge rusher is the trade deadline acquisition Von Miller, who they gave up a very very steep price, honestly, with the context of his age and his expiring contract to get. But Von Miller is a great player that provides immense value. Still a very, very good edge rusher. Even if he's not the Von Miller of old, he still got 10 sacks this year, I believe. And he's a great, awesome player. And yeah, um, I know I would mention Ernest Jones and Troy Reader. Um, and then of course you have on the on the secondary side, you have the best corner in the entire league, Jalen Ramsey, and he's just a phenomenon. He is the best at what he does, and there's no corner that I'd rather have on a team than him. And then of course on the other side, you have Darius Williams, who's quietly emerged as a very good number two. Um, on the safety side, you have Nick Scott, Taylor Rapp, and Eric Weddle, who I mean that's quietly been really good. And I mean it's just it's a very good, strong team overall in LA. Obviously, you just look at the you look at everything that roster, and it it's amazing just how good they are. And it just feels like at every position there's something great. Obviously, some more so than others. I mean, but it's still a good team. And then of course, uh, a low key kind of hallmark about something that the Rams they've always had some really good talent in the special teams, and when I mean the special teams, I'm talking about the kicker and punter, of course, being Matt Gay, who's been very good for them this year, and of course the punter Johnny Hecker, who, I mean, I'm not sure how he's been done this year, but he's still around there, and he's been a great kicker. I mean, this is a former All Pro at the position, which is a cool little tidbit, and it's just something. It's kind of cool seeing that the Rams. I mean, they have a at those two positions. They're filled with quality. Um, and also I looked at Daryl Henderson Jr. He's not hurt. He's just fallen behind. Akers and Michelle. Um, but it's it's an interesting team in LA, and with the matchup they're gonna have with the Bengals. I mean, the way I look at them is that this game is going to ride or die on Matthew Stafford. I truly believe that the Rams defense has the capability to put the Bengals in hell in the way that the Titans did. It's just up to Stafford to perform well enough. And I'm not saying this to get on your nerves, Link. This is my overall opinion on the game. It's up to Matthew Stafford to avoid doing what Ryan Tannehill did and just play well enough to win the game. And he could play well enough to possibly dominate it. But just an overall great team for the Rams. And I'll turn it over to you. Going on to the Bengals, unless you have any thoughts about the Rams, you yourself would like to give.
All right, so it's now time to discuss the opponents to the LA Rams. It's the unlikely Cincinnati Bengals. Um, man, oh man. Talk about one of the biggest underdogs of I'd say the last 10 years when it comes to, putting themselves in the spotlight after last season was a disaster for them. And, almost, this was a big year this was going to be a make or break year for Zach Taylor. This was his third season. And, he needs to show up with results. And, pretty surprising, too, considering, I think me and you saw, I think Steven, too, I think everyone. We had the Bengals being last in the AFC North with how competitive we thought it was going to be this year. And it still was competitive, but the teams that, did perform were not expected, like the Bengals. The teams that we expected to do well, like the Browns and Steelers.
And the Ravens.
They kind of they didn't really do that well. So,
Steelers were able to sneak their way in, but they were an easy one and done.
Yeah. And you know what? Look at the road they've went on. They had a good win against Vegas at home. Their first playoff win in over how long? Like 20 years? Not even 20 years. I'd say I think 30 years.
30 years, yeah.
It's one of the biggest droughts in football.
It was the longest ongoing at the time by by 15 years or something.
Right. And then they march in to play the number 1 seed, Tennessee. They got the job done there in a very exciting game. And then they march into Arrowhead, against the Kansas City Chiefs team that always dominates at Arrowhead in the playoffs. And they beat them in overtime. So, very miracle season for the Bengals. But, let's talk about the actual team. Because, there's a lot to go off. The story is good. But, let's take a look at the cast of characters. Joe Burrow is, a star. He's definitely spoilers, we'll talk about the awards later, but I'm going to go ahead and mention this now because, with the narrative and all that. Comeback player of the year, came back, his rookie season completely ruined by injury. He comes back, he played every game this season, and boy, this guy is incredible. It's a damn shame that he didn't get to have his great rookie year, but he's made up for it. He's easily gotten himself into a top 5 in the league scenario, and he's really helped out Cincinnati this playoff drive. He's got really good. He's made little mistakes this postseason, which that's something that's pretty crazy. Coming from the Titans game, you thought you'd think he'd be rattled. He got sacked 9 times, but no, he kept his composure and he still got the job done. And that's how it was with at Kansas City too. He made a lot of smart plays. He managed to escape the pocket, made some really incredible plays late in the game to get the Bengals back into to tie up the game. And you know what? It's so amazing how absolutely overpowered NFL marketing is when it comes to their players. Joe Burrow, I guarantee you, win or loss, he will be in at least 3, corporate commercials next season, or by the end of this year. He's already a star.
Yeah.
Already a star.
Yeah.
Speaking of stars, how about Jamar Chase? This guy definitely was not expected to do. We all knew he was going to be good. But, the only issue that was going in when he was selected is the fact that, the O-line issues. But, we'll get to that later. But, man, he had one of the greatest rookie seasons by a wide receiver in the history of the NFL. He had 81 receptions. I think about 50, almost got to 1,500 yards.
Yeah.
Crazy. And he was there, this postseason. He had, I think he's at 200 and something yards. Really good top selection. Easily he can already make him out to be a top 5 receiver in the league, which is crazy. So
yeah,
let's not downplay Joe Mixon either. He's been very good at running back, and those are like the big three right now for Cincinnati. But also T. Higgins, he's made himself out to be a great selection as a great number 2 selection at wide receiver. Um, CJ Uzoma is not how you spell his last name. Whatever.
Yeah,
He's been good this up his postseason. He made a lot of clutch plays. I remember the Tennessee game. Um,
he might be hurt. I'm not sure if he'll actually play, but yeah,
really? Oh, well then. But
yeah.
I think who else I'm thinking of? Tyler Boyd. Yeah, I think he had the. I think he was the one who had the late game touchdown against Tennessee. Hold on, but he's there. I mean, the Bengals have a good selection at receiving. So,
Yeah,
but definitely the biggest flaw. I guess the last component of the offense has definitely been and honestly, this team's. Well, I think it's the Achilles heel for the Bengals. Is definitely this offensive line. I saw. I mean, this was honestly the biggest problem with the Bengals all season. But they still won games with it, so it wasn't really and as a national spotlight as it was last year because I mean you could fault the Bengals O line not protecting him for ruining Burrow's rookie year, right? So honestly, I mean they've gotten a little bit better. They're a little bit better, but there still needs to be improvement. Still needs to be
I
improvement.
agree.
I mean the game against Tennessee, 9 sacks, unacceptable. Kansas City, I felt like the sack count should have been higher against Kansas City, but Joe Burrow just made really good running. Just got out of the pocket and
He threw the
managed to
ball away
escape.
when he needed to. He made plays. If there was plays to be had, he played everything correctly.
Yeah, and what really helped because I think the scheme for Kansas City that game. I mean, like I think I mentioned this last week. I mean, they were rushing around they were rushing the edges of the pocket, which Tennessee succeeded by really going towards the interior line. Which what
Yeah,
I mean.
Jeffrey Simmons had a very good game in particular.
Yeah, well, let's stick to let's keep talking about the Bengals because
Yeah,
after
keep
all,
it
this is
about
about
the
the
Bengals.
Bengals. But
This is about the
I'm trying
Bengals.
to I'm trying to convey the Bengals here. But honestly, their biggest Achilles heel. But their defense is probably could be a factor in
It's an
making up.
underrated unit for
Yeah, it
sure.
really is.
They're like we were talking about Tennessee's D line. I mean, the Bengals D line. I mean, that needs to get talked about more.
You're right.
I know they have
Sam Hubbard has been really good this postseason.
Hubbard, Trey Hendrickson, Reeder, Hill. I mean, really good quality players on the defensive line. And yeah, I mean, you don't really go wow superstar, even though Hendrickson has like elite sack production. You don't really see like a superstar in the unit, but you see still a lot of really good, just high quality players
Yeah,
on that, and that make it deadly as a whole unit. And then of course they have some solid linebackers.
yeah.
Not the best, I would say, but
I mean, yeah, their linebacker unit isn't that bad. I mean, you got Logan Wilson,
yeah, Logan Wilson.
Pratt. Who's got that really funky name? Well, I forget.
I'm not sure.
Starts with
And
a
then of
C.
course
He's got a hold up. Chidobe. That's what I was thinking of.
that's not a linebacker.
Oh, okay.
I was
Secondary
gonna
then.
talk about him because in a second, but he's on the secondary. He's a corner. He's a former Cowboy. He's stepped up as their number one corner. Isn't really good. Of course, the Bengals have a another pretty good corner in Mike Hilton, and then that number three corner might be a former Giants bust by the name of Eli Apple, who has his moments for better and for worse.
Right.
That's
Right.
for sure. But he's also pretty big on Twitter.
Yeah.
Um, he has and it's pretty funny. I think that's something to be said. Um, and of course, other than excuse me. Of course, we're talking about the secondary, and of course, they have a very good safety group with Jesse Bates, who had a down regular season, but has looked like himself in the playoffs, and he was the bright spot of that team in that tough rookie year for Burrow when he was arguably the best safety in the whole game. And opposite end, someone who's stayed more consistent to his true form even during the regular season. And while I did say Betts did step up in the playoffs or Bates, you have Von Bell, who's a very good, strong safety. And I mean, yeah, sorry for stealing your thunder a bit when talking about the Bengals defense.
No, I mean, I appreciate the. You know what? Why not? I appreciate the help, but you know, yeah,
Yeah,
solid defense. Very underrated, I'd say, under the radar. When this team was very good. Um,
yeah.
hey, we got to talk about the Evan McPherson kid, the kicker. He's been perfect this entire postseason. I think he's going to be a big factor in the Super Bowl. I mean, you got to think
It's kind of funny
he's
thinking about how good he is.
He's a guaranteed 3 points from 40 out. So
Except for when he plays the Packers.
oh oh
I was gonna bring that. It's kind of funny how good he's like been when you think about that game against Green Bay.
right. When did he
It was
go?
like a
What did he go in that game? Wasn't he like one for what was it? No, it was 0 for
oh,
2.
it was something like that. Yeah, that was a very crazy game.
Yeah, that game should have been a tie, but anyway, I think that's about it when I have to compliment the weapons on the Bengals. I think I went over offense, defense, special teams. Like I said, this is a very solid team. Would definitely overachieve this year, and they're going up against a Rams team who have been in this situation not too long ago when they played us, the
You
Patriots.
know, it's pretty funny, and I kind of hate myself for this, but like in during like the preseason and like in the early weeks of the regular season, I was kind of big on the Rams' chances, and I kind of hate myself for like betraying that to the point where I thought Arizona would win. Like, what was I thinking? But all right, I guess it's time for predictions, right?
Yeah, or I mean, we could, um, yeah,
All right, so we're gonna do some special predictions. Not only are we gonna do like typical ones where we're just gonna say the winner, we're also gonna pick against the spread. Now, obviously, the Rams are favored, so if anyone of us picks the Bengals, it is implied that we are picking them against the spread as well. We're also gonna talk about the over/under, and then we're also gonna look at some prop bets. I know not everyone here is like a gambling person, but it's just fun. I don't know if either one of us are actually gonna put the money on it, but
I can't legally
it's
bet in
just
my state, so no.
but it's just fun to look at the props, right?
Right.
Um. So, anyways, Link, I'll let you go first. Who are you picking today?
I think so. I believe both. I mean, this is definitely a really hard selection for me, but I mean, both teams. You look at their offensive and defensive components. When it comes to quarterback, wide receivers, running backs, linebackers, corners, about even, right? I would say so. But I think
Yeah,
the biggest mismatch in this entire game is definitely, I alluded to this earlier, the Bengals O line versus the Rams defensive line, and it could be vice versa because, like I said, like we've mentioned, the Bengals D line is actually very under the radar. But I think it's gonna be a bigger, hurdle to jump for the Bengals than it is going to be for the Rams, honestly, this year, because you see that Rams D line, and you'll shit bricks at. I mean, look, you got Darnold, and you also got Von Miller. Remember last time he was in the Super Bowl? I mean, he went off,
so did you call Donald Darnold?
huh?
Did you call Aaron Donald Darnold?
Did I?
I think you did.
Oh, oh, I'm sorry.
My head was just like, what's Sam Darnold doing here in the Super Bowl?
Did I?
Yeah,
Aaron Donald, the Donald.
the Donald.
Yeah, but you got
Not.
Von Miller, like I said last time he was in a Super Bowl. I don't know what happened there. Floyd also there. I think this is going to be the biggest mismatch, and we saw, with the Bengals, they can still win despite offensive line issues. But in a spot in a Super Bowl like this, and you look at the Rams. I mean, they don't have Ryan Tannehill. They have Matthew Stafford, who's better than Ryan Tannehill in every way. The Bengals definitely capitalized off a second half collapse from Mahomes. But, Matt Stafford's been one of the more consistent quarterbacks this entire playoff run. So I don't think they're going to make as many offensive mistakes as, that will offset the Cincinnati offensive line woes. So I think that's why
Yeah.
I feel like the Rams are going to win this Super Bowl.
Do you have the Rams covering the 4-point spread?
4-point spread. Nah. You know what? I kind of have that feeling with what am I thinking? Remember what you said, the Packers-Niners game? You think it's going to be a blowout or it's going to be a really like a 3-score ball game? That's what I'm kind of feeling that with this Rams and Bengals team. I mean, it's going to be close. That or the Rams are going to win by 21. Which,
Yeah.
I think I'm going to try to go for gut feel. I'm going to say, I'm going to try to go somewhere in between, right? I think the Rams are going to win by 10. There you go. Let's see how wrong I am, because like I said, I haven't gotten a prediction right since Wild Card Weekend.
All right.
If the Rams win by 10 and I can't bet on it, I'm going to be pissed.
All right. Just one more thing to ask. Over under by both teams 48.5 points. What are you looking at here? Well, are you going to go with the over or the under?
I have no idea what over-under is, honestly.
So no, the over under is the total points scored.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Oh, that's what it is? Huh.
Yeah.
48.5. I think that's a...
It's a very good line. They know what they're doing picking that as the number. That's for sure.
That's a tough one because, I mean... I'd say over. I'd say over.
All right.
Actually, no, under. Never mind. Under.
I'm gonna
Because
go.
that offset. Because that's,
What would your final score prediction be? Obviously, you're keeping it.
So I gotta go under 20. So I'm gonna say it's gonna be. I think I have the Rams 28, Bengals 17. Even though that goes against a 10-point game, but close enough.
Fairly close, yeah. All right. Now for my set of picks, I too am going to believe in the Rams. I've been picking against both teams a lot, which doesn't bode well for the Rams, but yeah, and I'm gonna say that the Bengals will find a way to cover the spread. I think it'll be a 3-point game. It'll be one of those. Dude, the NFL season this year has been too good to not end with some like field goal kick to decide it. Honestly,
Oh yeah, that's true.
and I think that the I'm just trying to collect my thoughts here. I think that yeah, the Bengals will cover it and the Rams will win it. I think that we're gonna get like a final score. I'm gonna go with the over. So maybe like let me think. So I'm just trying to make sure that I have the numbers. Maybe like okay, wait. Let me think. Just trying to make sure that I'm doing my. I'm gonna say something like a 27-24 game.
Yeah, that's very. Yeah. I don't know though, because I mean, think about it. We're kind of. I mean, I kind of feel like we're kind of doomed for a bad Super Bowl this year, because I mean, think about it. So 50 wasn't that good. 51 was pretty good. I mean, obviously 28-3. 52 was entertaining. 53 sucks. So it feels like two good Super Bowls and a bad one. These last two Super Bowls haven't been bad. I mean, last year it got
Uh, Year was born.
lopsided, but I think the spectacle of Brady versus Mahomes was, kind of made up for it.
Well, kinda. I thought that last year's was
Last year
boring.
was
If
all right, but like it wasn't bad. Kind of
I
like I
I
mean,
would I would say it was bad. Honestly,
I don't know. Well, I
it
mean,
wasn't as bad as the Brady's final New England win, but I just did not like it.
I didn't think it was that horrible. But I mean, yeah, whatever. Go on. I think.
Uh, But so and then I think that was I and then yeah, so I think I covered all that, and so I guess now let's take a look at some prop bets. Before we do though, I kind of want to say it's kind of nice having no villain in the Super Bowl. It feels like
Well, yeah, this is the most refreshing Super Bowl since what? Super Bowl. Ugh, I can't even think. I mean,
would 50 count? Would 48 count? I don't know.
I'd say 48 because I mean Manning hadn't been to the Super Bowl since in a while, and the Seahawks were of course the new kids on the block. Um, maybe. Jeez, I'm trying to think because I mean
The
it's
Ravens
been
and the
Brady. Well,
Niners.
first of all, Brady hasn't been in the Super Bowl. Yeah, Chiefs and Niners was fresh,
Oh well, also the Ravens and Niners.
and Ravens Niners. Yeah, that was a good Joe Flacco Super Bowl right there. Yeah, I'd say. I mean, it's nice to see. I mean, like I said, these two. One team hadn't been in the Super Bowl since the '80s. The other team is
Looking to get
they've
some
been
legends.
recently, but they haven't really
They
had.
they're trying to get some future Hall of Famers their chance at rings. I
I mean,
mean,
they're trying to win technically their first Super Bowl in LA.
yeah, and I mean, look at the guys who are due for some, guys that you want to see get rings, but they haven't gotten their chance yet. Aaron Donald, Eric Weddle, of course you have the current stars on the Rams like Ramsey. I mean, Ramsey's a bit controversial, but like the point is like these are superstars that their careers warrant rings. Ramsey, um, Von Miller already has one, but still like
Right.
uh
You can do so with a new team. So
yeah. What's his face? I'm just blanking. Andrew Whitworth. Uh,
right.
who I mean, that's speaking of which, he is a legend for the Bengals. Um, was their star tackle for so long, and is now anchoring the position for the Rams. And of course, there's just trying to not screw up the details here. And then of course you have Odell Beckham Jr. Stafford, and then now Cup kind of emerging.
Isn't
Just
that
a lot of
wild?
just a lot of guys that I mean, if you do like, whether you like them or not, 'cause some of these guys not everyone does like,
Right.
but guys that their careers do warrant having Super Bowl rings. And then on the other side, the Bengals have a lot of new kids on the block that when the time comes, um, you want to see their careers have a championship with them. So like Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, and it's uh it's a fun it's a fun team, and it's definitely likable. But let's get on to the prop bets now, because why not? Um, so coin toss. Who's gonna win the coin toss?
Really?
Yep,
The fans.
the
Next.
fans. I'm a believer in tails never fails.
I'll go with heads
Uh,
just to be counter. They're doing prop. Well, it is sports betting has gotten so lucrative over the days. This
yeah.
like past year, like Jesus Christ.
What's the color of the Gatorade shower gonna
You
be?
gotta be really? These are the
Yeah,
prop bets.
yeah.
Orange because Bengal. No, well I don't like I don't want the Bengals to
Orange,
win.
orange, orange is actually the favorite.
Really? Oh well, yeah, because
Yeah,
orange Gatorade's kind of like one of their trademarks. I don't know. I've never drank orange Gatorade, honestly. I don't really like orange, like Gatorade or Powerade.
yeah.
But yeah, let's go with orange.
All right, I'm gonna go blue.
I
Just to
couldn't
see if I'm
imagine
different.
someone. losing all their money, like putting everything on the Gatorade will be orange, and then losing everything.
Oh God, this is gonna be crazy. Who is gonna be mentioned first during the Super Bowl MVP speech? Team, teammates, city fans, God, religion, family, coaches, or team owner?
Well, for the Rams, I definitely don't think team owner. um, let's go with well, it is LA because I'll go fans. After all,
Yeah, I'm
home.
gonna also go fans. Yeah, but team teammates may also be there. All right. Will a player propose after the game?
Jesus Christ. Um,
Remember, this game is one day before Valentine's Day.
hold on. Let me see if any Rams are are still you know have not been married yet. Hold on, let me look it up. I'm not looking it up. Um, I'm gonna go with yes.
I'll also go yes, just because why not? Oh God, some of these are cringe. Like
Will a player
who
say
which
I'm going to Disneyland after the game?
yeah. Well, they say Disneyland instead of Disney World. That would be an interesting. That would be an
Well, they
interesting
got
one.
to because I mean it's L.A.
Yeah. All right. And then there's some funny ones like which media company will air first in like commercials or like
Yeah.
which like beer or like which crypto company. I don't care about that. That's just a stupid bet.
I'm not even hyped for the Super Bowl commercial. They haven't been good since like I don't know. Like the
Yeah,
last
like
funny one was like the Dilly Dilly saga. That was pretty good. That was like
yeah.
Super Bowl 52.
I remember. I think that one. I remember that in the Rams Super Bowl that they lost to the Patriots. I don't know if that was in the Chiefs Niners one,
Oh
but
right.
I know.
We're probably
All
gonna get a
right,
lot of
so
super like we're probably gonna get a lot of like pandemic, COVID, all of that nice stuff in the Super Bowl commercials this year for the Super.
yeah. Um,
Great. But what was
so
the original over under?
for
Or
what?
what was the original? No, what was the original prop bet you said about
For
commercials?
what? They were basically about like what media company would have a commercial first, and also about like it was like a beer one and like a crypto one.
Okay, so NBC's doing the game, right? I'm gonna go with
Yeah.
Peacock because apparently they lost $2.1 billion and they got to make that back somehow.
Jesus. Um. Anyways, uh, we're in for a just fun Super Bowl. Hopefully, I hope this is a good game. That's all I want. I want a good game. Like I'd be happy for either team to winning. Leaning on the Rams, but I wouldn't be upset if the Bengals win. But I am leaning on the Rams just because of the sheer amount of players that I just want to see get a ring. And it's not like I don't want to see Burrow and Chase get one in their due time because they absolutely should. But this is kind of this might be the last chance for some of those guys in the Rams. And I'm sure Bengals fans, even though they do want to win the game, they'd be happy to see Whitworth get his Lombardi Trophy.
They're just happy that they didn't finish below 500 this year. So I
Oh
mean,
yeah, no, but if like imagine just being a Bengals, like you have to be ecstatic to be here, just in general. Like even if it the result doesn't turn out the way you want, it'll suck for a bit just knowing that you got so close and came short. But it's great just knowing the season, how amazing it was, beating everyone's expectations, and for the on the Rams side though, I mean does feel like there is a lot more pressure to win now on that side, so
well, yeah,
it'll
because
be
the Rams. I
interesting.
mean, they've had what? They've had the past couple years. Been in a situation, a playoff team, and then they just they can't get it done. Shit.
Yeah, of course, different shortcomings here and there, but now they truly, now you could really say they have the quarterback that can get them there. Even if you don't truly believe that Stafford is at that elite level, he's more than good enough to get the McVay system at such an optimal running point that it has the capacity to win the Super Bowl, which they're here now and they can do it. And you couldn't say that about Jared Goff. And, like I said before, I think
Oh
the
yeah.
ultimate thing that's going to decide this game is how good Stafford plays. Because if Stafford dominates, this isn't going to be a contest. But he could play like Ryan Tannehill. and cost them in the end.
I like how
We'll
Ryan
see.
Tannehill is now like the example to bring up when screwing your team over in a playoff game.
I'm sorry.
No, no, no. I mean, you're right, but I mean, could say like Jimmy
It,
G or nah. Let's not punk on Jimmy G. That's like a sin. But yeah, it's
I mean,
funny. Like it is. Isn't
I
it?
mean, you could say the same about Jimmy G, but I guess the reason I specifically bring this up is because I mean that's just who played the
Cause I'm
Bengals.
here.
No, it's just because
Cause I'm
that's who
here.
played the Bengals. Uh,
Um. Yeah. Man, isn't that crazy looking at that trade? I think what that was like 10 months ago when Safford and Goff traded.
yeah, I was big on that trade for the Rams. I was like, yo, okay, and then it's man, I was an idiot for showering on Stafford throughout the season instead of saying sweet on him like I was going into the year because he's been great, and I mean the Rams have been great. Uh, so interesting for them, and best of luck in their best of luck to both teams in this contest, and to finish off what they started uh, all the way back in training camp because I mean, I feel like for once America could win either way with whoever wins.
I don't know. I mean, would you considering the owner of the Rams and how much of a eh,
Oh,
I guarantee you,
I
St.
don't.
Louis is voting for
Oh,
or
okay. Oh, yeah. Fair enough.
absolutely rooting for Cincinnati to win this.
I know a few people from there that are still Rams fans, but other than those, then like yeah. But I guess people from Louisiana also are gonna pull for the Bengals, the LSU fans. Um,
All right, let's I think
but
that's
yeah,
yeah.
my point is that there will be a lot of happy people on the neutral, kind of the neutral side. So this looks like an awesome matchup. It's fun.
Right. But I think that's enough with I think that's all the things about the Super Bowl. Yeah, is there anything else? Oh, the we got the NFL award
The,
show.
yeah, the NFL awards.
Uh,
So I guess we'll run through it. Aaron Rodgers won the MVP.
dumb.
For Cup, Cooper Cup, or as someone I know has called him, Jerry White Rice won Offensive Player of the
Oh,
Year.
oh God, please don't tell me people actually say that.
Yeah, someone actually said that. TJ Watt won Defensive Player of the Year.
That was
Joe
deserved.
Burrow Joe Burrow won Comeback Player of the Year.
Deserved.
Uh so true. So true. No, it's not. I may be very bitter. Uh and my maybe I mean I am very bitter. I wanted my guy, but I mean I'm happy for Burrow and um then the Rookie of the Year awards, I mean those were never in doubt. Jamar Chase won. He should have won unanimously, by the way. And
Did he not? Who was?
they gave 5 votes to Mac Jones, 2 votes to Rashawn Slater.
All right, now let's.
I think Rashawn Slater and Creed Humphrey combined for 3 votes. I don't know which one got 2 and which one got 1.
Lord of mercy.
And then Micah Parsons won Defensive Rookie of the Year unanimously. And he
Okay,
also
yeah.
finished second. He also finished second for Defensive Player of the Year. So I mean, if I don't know, I that would be very weird if the voters voted for someone else over someone that got more Defensive Player of the Year votes than Aaron fucking Donald, wouldn't it?
Right.
Luckily, we aren't dealing with baseball voters, so it
Oh
is
yeah.
very tolerable. But unfortunately, like baseball voters, this Hall of Fame class was really weird. I don't understand how you don't put DeMarcus Ware and Andre Johnson in.
Really? They didn't. Oh.
Yeah, Devin Hester too. Very weird. Just weird that some of the guys like I feel like the class of guys that I feel like they didn't put in to a certain extent to me seems better than some of the guys that they did put in, which I mean that's just really weird. Not yeah, I'm just not a fan of some of the snubs, but of course Andre Johnson, DeMarcus Ware will get in, but it's just very weird that they did not this time. Um, but
What other awards there?
Yeah.
I didn't watch the awards. I think watching awards shows
Uh,
are stupid.
I
So
I believe Mike Vrabel won Coach of the Year,
deserved.
and Dan Quinn won Assistant Coach of the Year.
I'll let you have your opinion on that.
I feel strongly that he did deserve it.
Mm.
You just look at the difference between the Cowboys' defense over
That
the
is
last couple
that.
of
You know
years.
what? That is true because I mean, last year, God, they couldn't stop a Pee Wee team on defense.
Yeah,
But
big turnaround thanks to him.
yeah.
And yeah, so those were the NFL awards.
What? Here, I'm looking at the. I want to look at
You
some of
know,
these.
this made me kind of sad, but Parsons was doing a signing at the LA Convention Center, and I didn't know until like an hour that before he was going to be there, so I couldn't go. I could have
Let's see here.
gotten like, I had this Cowboys like helmet in like a case. I could have brought it, could have gotten him to sign it, take a picture with him, but now I'm kind of sad.
Let's see here. Yeah, best moment of the year, Justin Tucker against Detroit. Yeah, Hall of
I
Fame.
mean, I'm not sure if I would put it, but it is one
That
that
was
goes in the
record
history
breaking.
books.
They gotta put that. That was like incredible.
That is incredible, but I mean, you look at the stakes of the other ones, man. Just like
Yeah.
I think as a
Uh,
singular play in terms of an impressive physical trait, it like is just because of how insane that record-breaking kick is. But there were just some in bigger moments, I like more down the line that were just like crazier because of the things that like led up to it, like the whole like the Raiders Chargers game. Oh my
oh.
God. I mean,
Okay.
obviously the kick is nowhere near as impressive as Tucker's as a physical feat, but just like the moment, like that had to be insane. You
Hmm.
had three playoff trips on the line. I mean, more really two because the Raiders were locked in, but I mean, crazier things have happened.
FedEx Air and Ground Player of the Year. I did not know this was an award. Brady and John
Yeah,
Taylor. That's good for
yeah.
them. I felt like they were going to give Brady the MVP this year. I guess because of the stakes. And, it's his last
Uh,
season.
but I'm not upset with either option. I mean, Brady had more volume in the end. Rodgers missed like Rodgers was more efficient of the
Rodgers
two, and
was
that's
benched at the beginning of the year, though. Remember that game? He was played horribly against New Orleans.
that has to tell you a lot about Rodgers, how good he was, just to bleed Brady in efficiency categories with that bad of a game. And to be fair, Brady also did get shut out by New Orleans, so
Well, I
kind
guess.
of
Yeah. Oh,
kind of
yeah.
does equal out. Does equal out. Does equal out there. Um, but yeah.
I think that's all from the NFL because.
I don't know. I would have said I would have been fine with either winning it. It's just that it's I find the result either way just gonna make people upset. So that's funny.
Yeah, but also considering Aaron Rodgers hasn't really been a big media help for the NFL.
Yeah, I thought that the media was gonna because of that was gonna give it to Brady, but I guess not. But it was kind of expected once the first team All Pro was released. But yeah, I guess now we could move on, talk about it's just something quickly before we get to the other thing that was kind of big, not as big as the Super Bowl, but something quick. The Major League Baseball is having a universal DH now.
Yeah, lockout's still happening though,
Yep, but
and
I guess
they're stopping their steroid testing,
yep.
which was definitely one of those wink wink moves. They're like, all right, we
Let's let
come on, let's play
yeah.
baseball.
But I mean, I'm happy about the universal DH. I'm sick of watching pitchers hit. To be honest, I get the novelty when they do good, but still, it's like no.
Yeah, but I mean, whatever. It's good.
I'm happy.
I mean, you don't have your quarterback play defensive line, so
I feel like both of our teams are going to benefit a lot from it this year. I mean, the Braves have some, they could put like Soler there. I
yeah.
don't know. And then with the Dodgers, I mean, we have options to put there. Justin Turner, possibly. But yeah, just wanted to shout that out quick. And then going on to
I guess the second
uh,
big thing of this past week, the NBA trade deadline.
trade deadline. So let's start with the big deal, right? The 76ers and the Nets on deadline day got a James Harden trade done. He wanted out. There were some questions. It seems like because of Kevin Durant that maybe Harden would have been fine staying out the year if the Nets truly wanted to, and then going to Philly later. But a deal was done, and I believe it was a couple first round picks: Seth Curry, Ben Simmons, and it was someone else. I'm trying to remember. I'm blanking. Um,
Did you say Seth Curry?
yeah,
Drummond also got included in that deal,
Drummond got traded,
and
so
I think a 2020 next year's first round or this year's first round pick and a 2027 first round pick.
yeah. And then Seth Curry, yeah, Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and two, yeah,
Yeah,
first round pick. Okay, that
this
and
this trade
it's
kind
a
of symbolizes the end of this Nets experiment, this big three that didn't really go anywhere.
yeah. I mean, it only had one chance, and it really got derailed by his injuries and a historic playoff run by Giannis Antetokounmpo. But
Yeah, but even this season, I mean,
yeah, with
you know, Durant has been good. Yeah, I
The
mean,
whole
but
Kyrie vaccination thing,
yeah,
Harden has had his ups and downs. Kyrie, um, he's also the ups and downs, of course, not playing the home games, but it is a crazy year. But the Nets, I mean, it does suck to lose Harden, but there are good things that they're going to get out of it. If Ben Simmons can back into form, maybe they can have him there as a quality defender. Maybe move him to like a kind of like a power forward, Draymond Green type of role. They don't have to put him at point guard. Um, then Seth Curry will provide some shooting. Drummond, I mean he's okay-ish. He's not himself, but he's a good rebounder and he has some depth. I don't know how good he is. I would say that it's not a good thing if he takes minutes away from Nicholas Claxton, though, who's a quality young piece. Um, but yeah, that's how that's really that trade. I mean, I like it for I love it for the Sixers. I like it for the Nets, but I don't love it because obviously you're giving away the superstar. But I like what they get back and how it could fit with Durant and Kyrie. But I don't love it. But I love what the Sixers have going forward, and I think that this really gives them a chance to truly compete in the East. Um, as for some other trades, we have a very big fan base and raging one. The Sacramento Kings
wow.
uh, made a deal for DeMontis Sabonis. The Pacers are looking to blow up their team, and let's just say that the big piece of the return that went to Indiana is certainly not helping. Of course, Buddy Hield and Tristan Thompson went along, but Halliburton, really good young guard who has played really well for the Kings, stepped it up, and he seems like he wanted to be there and be part of the answer and part of the rebuild and be maybe that star man that Sacramento can look to, but it seems like they wanted Sabonis so much that he had to be part of that deal. And honestly, I hate for Sacramento giving him up in a trade for Sabonis.
You know what they say? Fucking stupid.
Yup, and that's what the Kings organization has been, and this is why they haven't made the playoffs since 2005 or something.
Yeah, this is why they're the most forgettable franchise in basketball.
Yeah,
But
and
I
then
guess the
yeah.
next trade to talk about. Let's talk about the Mavericks.
Oh
Sending
God, they
Porzingis to
did
the
a
Wizards.
stupid. They did a
So,
stupid. I mean,
so,
look, I get.
Porzingis hasn't. I mean, he's been day to day for like the last month, and I guess this was, just because I think he had a pretty like big size contract, and I'm pretty sure that just to
Yeah,
clear cap
and he's been
space.
on. Look,
And like, yeah, what did you say?
and look. I understand that that Porzingis has been underwhelming in his time with the Mavs for expectations, but to do it like this and get bad contracts like Spencer Dinwiddie, and Bertrand's. That is just to me an
And you
awful
also
move.
gave up a second rounder.
Yeah, that just To me, it looks like an ugly move. I love this for the Wizards. I hate it for the Mavericks. Um, and yeah, I guess that's really all there's to say. Just an ugly move by the Mavs. And of course, for a couple smaller deals, the Pelicans got CJ McCollum from the Blazers. They really could use a wing, since Zion just isn't going to play. And guys like Brandon Ingram he's been a big part in pushing them into the playoff picture. And then of course Serge Ibaka has been moved to the Milwaukee Bucks. Obviously, there are some other moves that I could be forgetting here, but just wanted to just note those. And of course, some teams have stood pat surprisingly, like the Lakers and the Knicks. The Bulls haven't made any moves.
I guess like the obviously the Laker faithful and all their fans want Westbrook out, but I think that was just. I mean, if you look at his how much money he's getting dealt, I mean, I think for the next 2 years he's making $33 million. I think that was a little bit too steep for anyone to try to take a gamble on.
No one wants him. That's
Yeah,
just the reality. And yeah, but I mean that's it really with the
yeah, it's
the
crazy though. I
NBA.
mean, I don't think the Knicks could really move anything. I don't think they were in a good position like to do anything. But yeah, the Lakers, they felt like everyone thought they were going to do something. They did nothing, and then now they are
Yeah,
currently sitting in the they're in the play-in tournament, right? They're like in their like the current if the season ended now, they
yeah, but it is still looking ugly for him.
yeah. Of course, the Grizzlies didn't make any moves. Did the Bulls make anything?
No, the Bulls stood pat.
Yeah, I mean, you know what, man, that's fine considering our teams are doing very well right now.
Yeah.
So I think that's it for trade talk for the NBA. I mean, um, All Star games this weekend.
Yeah. Do you have anything to bring up with your bonus minute?
Oh yeah. Because we call this a mini episode, but we're on 57 minutes. I'll talk about a little bit of NASCAR. So the Clash was this Sunday at the LA Memorial Coliseum. Lots of chaos, and this was, I mean, this as it proved. I mean, this was a big gamble. I said this was gonna, kind of make or break this upcoming era for NASCAR when it comes to the eyes of the public, and this was a success. I mean, this was the Coliseum was packed. There was, some good action. There was some wild moments. It was, it was a great experiment. And you know what? I think NASCAR is planning on doing this in other markets that are really hard to get, like Seattle possibly, or markets they haven't really tapped into. It's good. I'm up for it. I mean, this was an entertaining race. Watched all the heat races. Saw Ty Dillon kill everyone on the track. So that was nice to watch. A lot of the top cars, unfortunately. Well, not really unfortunately, but I mean, this was kind of a reoccurring issue. Cars did, I mean, just completely break down in the main event. You could definitely see the main event with Tyler Reddick. He was leading halfway through the race, and then I think his something snapped on his car, and then it ended up having to DNF. But Joey Logano won. This is his in his Clash event. I think that's his first ever Clash win. And now we're on the march to the Daytona 500. The duels is upcoming Thursday, and the 500 is on not this Sunday but next Sunday. So I think that's all I got for that. If you want to add anything.
Um, so on the F1 side of things, they've been showing some of the new car designs, so it's pretty dope. But other than that, nothing really. So yeah, that's it really. So not really a bonus minute as much as a bonus second.
All right then. Well, this was Fun episode. Super Bowl. Let's see if we get it right. I mean, I think Steven already. I think he predicts. He predicted the Rams to win. So we're all kind of predicting the Rams will win, but nothing wrong with a good surprise every once in a while. So we'll see what happens. And I think that will be the last thing that I have to say. This has been episode 26. Thanks for listening and peace out.
All right, yeah, see you guys.